that simple. Every time you sit down to a cooked meal of food, your body has to use its store of enzymes to break that food down. So you use up your life force at the table as opposed to adding to it. You need enzymes, enzymes, enzymes. So me, even though I'm 99.9% raw and living foods, but even when I open a restaurant and I'm eating more cooked, I do enzymes. I do enzymes with cooked food. I do enzymes with raw food. I take in enzymes. This is the staff of life. This is the spark of life is what I want to say. It's the spark. It's like the catalyst to turn everything on in your bodies. You need enzymes. And we have a systemic enzyme too, the pink bottle. That's for all the systems in your body. We have wonderful books. You don't believe me? Dr. Howe. We've got doctors that have written books about enzymes. Studies found in the Harvard Medical Laboratories years ago about enzymes. But nobody's popularizing it enough yet. Enzymes, enzymes, enzymes. You need tons of enzymes. And enzymes will literally make you younger. They'll make you feel better. Even if you just started taking enzymes now, eating what you're eating, it would help process your food faster and it wouldn't sit in there and stick so long. But I'd like to see you just start eating more raw foods, period. Enzymes, enzymes, enzymes. That's the buzzword, not low fat, low sugar, blah, blah, blah. It's enzymes, enzymes, enzymes. You are enzymes, and the more you have, the better you're going to be. A person 80 years old has about 1/30th the amount of enzymes of a younger person. You're constantly using them up with your cooked meals. So raw foods are the way to add enzymes in nature in their right combination to your system. And then your body doesn't have to work so hard to break the food down, and then you just get the nutrients from your food and you expel what you don't need. Because even if you're eating sprouts, I mean cooked, if the enzymes aren't there, they're not going to do you a lot of good. Enzymes are like, when you turn that light on, the flash, the electricity that makes the light go on, that's the flash, the electricity that makes the spark that makes your body go. So it's all about your enzyme intake. And that's why I have this raw restaurant. And what you will find when you're eating raw foods, it takes 1/4 the amount to fill you up. So even if you feel you eat a lot of food, now you start eating raw foods, you get closer and closer and closer to the fist-sized food that you need to be taking in, and then you're satisfied. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret now. I'm on the 5th day of a fast. I haven't eaten in 5 days, okay? Is my energy level down? No. Because I'm drinking vegetable juices. I'm taking in enzymes. Lots and lots of enzymes. I'm just enzymatically filling my body up with enzymes. And I feel better than I felt all year long. It's only the beginning of the year, but I feel better than I felt all year long. So it's about our enzyme intake. It's that spark of life. So even if you're not ready to be a raw foodist or vegan, give yourself enzymes. Change the balance of your food and take in more living food. Begin that way. Just start taking in more living food. That can make all the difference in the world and how you feel. There was an older gentleman, my husband and I were going out to Palm Springs to visit some friends, and everybody on the plane had to be 80 years old. It was just a sea of older people. And we barely made it to the plane, so I almost lost my seat, or I didn't have a seat and somebody gave up and gave me their seat, and I was sitting next to this real elderly couple. And the old guy had his head down on the table and he looked pretty miserable. They didn't even want to pull it up for takeoff. And she was rubbing his back. And my husband told me a long time ago, if somebody doesn't ask you, don't give them any information, right? So I'm sitting there, watching these miserable people. And I didn't say anything. I learned my lesson. You guys all chose to come here. That's why I could talk to you all day. You chose to ask me what to do. So I was sitting there next to him and I'm watching him, and then they served my lunch, and he had ordered vegan for me. You could still get food on the plane then, and they brought me pita bread with tomato and cucumber in it, so I got rid of the pita bread and just ate it. And she says, "What are you doing, my dear?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm a vegan." She goes, "Oh, what's that?" So then I got to tell her a little bit about what I do, and then I shut up again. And then I saw him sinking and getting more and more miserable. And so she ran out of Kleenex, so I went to the bathroom for her, and she says, "Oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to drive. We have an hour drive when we get off the plane. I think we're going to have to go to a motel. I don't know what we're going to do." And I said, "Well, I just have something in my purse that might help you." And she said, "What is it, my dear?" And I said, "Enzymes." So they weren't even in the bottle. They were in a Ziploc bag, And I'm a strange woman sitting there, strange black woman sitting there with this Ziploc baggie of pills. And I reached in and grabbed a handful and I gave them to her. I said, well, you could try giving him these. It might help. And she looked at me and she says, okay, how many should he take? Well, I'd given her about 10. I said, give him all of them, or 5 or 6, whatever you feel like. So he took 5 or 6, and he had his head like that, and as the plane proceeded, he started to sit up. As God is my witness, I swear to God, he started to sit up. When he got off the plane, he was carrying her on plane luggage and swinging his arms. And she said thank you, and they still order, well, up to a few years ago, they were still ordering enzymes from me. And that's all he did, was the enzymes. I'm telling you, you can correct so many things with enzymes. It's amazing, enzyme depletion, the imbalances creating in most of your systems. And then the systemic enzyme, it's great for excessive mucus and inflammation in the system, and it just helps. I mean, I get people that have been in chronic pain, they start to do that. Dr. Wu, one of my other doctors, she sells our enzymes and vitamins at her place, and she talks about the help that her patients get regularly from arthritis and all kinds of things with the systemic enzyme. So, you know, I believe, and you don't have to believe me, you can read all of these tons of books we have out there on enzymes. You can read the research yourself and decide if it works for you, but it's certainly working for me, and I do about 25 enzymes a day, sometimes more. Now, I'm 64, so I'm going to need more than somebody like you, a lot younger than me. My teacher, Viktoras Galvinskas, I've seen him take 40, 50 in a day. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying we all find our own balance of what we need throughout the days. I have the enzyme in powdered form. You can sprinkle this on your dog's foods. You can give it to your children. There is no such thing that I've ever heard of as an enzyme overdose or enzyme death. So, and my enzymes are actually a food. They've got a lactobacillus in them, which is the good bacteria where I talked about the yeast in the body. This brings the yeast levels down. It's got a green food in it. I don't know if you realize that the human condition is supposed to be taking in 70% chlorophyll a day. 70% of what your intake should be chlorophyll. So my enzyme has a chlorophyll in it also, and it's a plant-based enzyme because there's all kinds of enzymes out there. You can get enzymes made from spleens and pancreases and cow balls and all kinds of stuff. Mine is all plant-based, and so it's like a food. My enzymes are a food. But you know, I don't want it to be like I'm selling anything. I just, if you find another product or brand or somebody, something that resonates, there are a lot of other good products out there. If it works for you, if it works for your pocketbook, just wake up and start doing something differently. So we've got some samples of raw food for you to try, because when people think of raw foods, they automatically think of lettuce and tomato and cucumber, oh my, right? And I got to be done in 15 minutes, so be quiet unless you're going, when you eat the food, because I want to finish up, because I know you're getting a little antsy and it's warm in here. I'm warm too. So I want to get finished up, so just make some yummy noises, but don't talk. So on one side, oh, I'm giving you the raviolis. That's one of my oldest creations. You're not getting dough that hasn't been cooked. It's, I'll tell you what it is after you eat it. And you're going to get, and it's made with a raw tomato sauce. I think Italian foods are good because everybody likes Italian food, so that's my version of a ravioli. You're also going to get almond pate, which is my signature food. It's the first thing I ever made 20 years ago, and it's just soaked almonds. That's where Soak Your Nuts comes from, and it's just soaked nuts with onion and tomato and some Bragg's liquid aminos and some other yummy stuff, and it's served with a little tiny wheat berry cracker, which is sprouted wheats, and it's been dehydrated, which is another wonderful way to get raw foods, is through dehydration. And so the moisture has just been pulled out, but the enzymes are still intact. If you don't heat things over 110 to 120 degrees, the enzymes are still intact. So it's like eating raw living food. So you're getting almond pate, you're getting a little cracker with it, and we have the crackers for sale, and we have the almond pate. So the almond pate is on my all-you-can-eat buffet. These are the crackers, and that's on my all-you-can-eat buffet. And you can come in and eat all you want all day long, but of course I've got a little secret, because when you're eating raw food, you can only eat so much, right? No. I do have people that challenge me. I have some guys that come in here and they can eat all day long, a few women too, and God bless you, I'm happy you can do it. Because when you first start eating this way, it doesn't always balance out immediately. It takes a little time for the body to realize that it's satisfied with the food. But you're getting almond pate, and I think the other thing we're going to serve is a dessert. Oh, and a lemon square. Coconut. Oh, coconut square. So here's the deal. You'll see that eating these little tiny bits of food that I'm giving you will actually start to make you feel a little satisfied. Not full, but satisfied. And that's what we're looking for, is satisfaction. So, you know, there's some people out there going, well, where am I going to get my protein and where am I going to get my calcium? Potatoes even have 12 grams of protein in them. And you don't need all these massive, in fact, cancer is excessive protein in the body. That's another sign, excessive protein in the body. So I'm sure a lot of you have trainers out there that have you on 6 grams of protein every 6 hours, right? And 3 grams of this every whatever, so that you can build your muscle. Would you guys stand up in the back for me a minute, please? Would you look at these 2 perfect specimens of human beings? They are opening up a gym in Chicago, the Monkey Bar. No animal products in them. Would you look at their bodies? And look at them closely after. Would you hold up your arms for me? I love her arms. Look at that. Okay. I wish you could put the camera on them, because show them again for the cameras. We're streaming, okay? So these, and how long have you been training people? How many years?
I've been a trainer 31 years. I'll be 48 in the summer, and been a vegan for about 7 years.
Vegans, okay? Do you get it?
Muscular and strong and stuff like that. I've raised my lean body mass since I became a vegan, and I got rid of arthritis. I had really bad osteoarthritis in my hands and a lot of other things too. So.
Trainer, muscles, no meat, you know. See, I really, thank you guys. So I really believe, and we'll have information on their gym opening here. You're opening when again?
February 14th.
February 14th. They have them all over the country, these monkey bar gyms, because, you know, monkeys are vegetarians most of the time, vegans, and they're muscular. In fact, all the animals that we choose to eat for protein and calcium are vegetarian animals, folks. Where's the logic in that? All the animals that you're eating, cows, pigs, they're all vegetarian animals.
That's right.
So you're getting it third hand, your protein. So it really... Well, because some vegans don't believe in eating honey either, because it's from an animal, even though it's bee crap. There's some people that are very rigid, and you know, you have to do what's comfortable for you. I teach what's comfortable for me. There's some people's classes you take that you can't eat cashew nuts, raw cashews, because they aren't technically really raw, because they have to blanch them now. You know, and they're trying to do that to they've done it to our almonds too. So there's some people, like I said, that can squeeze a dime in their butts, and that's cool too. I'm just saying I don't teach that way because I don't live that way, and I haven't gone on my journey that way. I do what's comfortable for me along the way, but I keep moving forward, and that's what's important. So how is the food so far? Yes. And it wasn't lettuce and tomato, okay, but there were some tomatoes in there. You think that you have to be hungry. You need salt, you need fat, you need sugar. But you need the right salt, fat, and sugar. And then you will be satisfied. And when you detox your body, you start to, I'm asking you to keep it down, folks. And then, remember, we're filming. There are people all over the country watching us here. So when you're, I'm supposed to be out of the aisle. I'm sorry. So when you're, what was I saying?
Salt, fat, and sugar.
Salt, fat, and sugar, right. You remembered that, didn't you? We're supposed to have salt, fat, and sugar, but the right salt, fat, and sugar. And that's what this restaurant is all about. I've dedicated my life to making foods that taste absolutely delicious, from cheeses and ice creams and all the yogurt. I do a wonderful yogurt, to all the things that you are used to eating, because you can't just pull everything out and be satisfied. You can't leave a hole there. You have to, you know, pull a little out, put a little in, and fill it with stuff that you are used to, because eating is so habitual. It's all about habit and comfort and what you're used to doing, that your family. So I try to create foods that you're used to. But there are raw food restaurants all over the country now. I'm not the only one anymore. They're right in Alaska. You can get wheatgrass now. You know, so there's no excuse for you not stepping on the bandwagon even a little bit.